What's going on, everyone? Back here to talk a little bit about the new DEPS 175, the 2021 model. I made a recent edit, posted it on Facebook, and had a lot of people message me about it. So it's a new model for 2021. They had the new model and then the previous OG model, but they improved this new 175 model, and it's been really, really good for the past couple times that I've been using it. So let's get right into it. So I grabbed, I think it's the gizzard shad color. It comes in all the original colors at the regular 250s and stuff. I think there's flash carp, there's butch brown, I think it's a Seiko trout. There's a handful of them, but I just grabbed this one. The bait comes in at 175 millimeters, or it's 6.89 inches. It's 2.8 ounces. I think it retails for somewhere around $109.99. I got mine from the Hookup Tackle, but a lot of distributors got theirs. So I think like my buddy picked one up off Three Rivers Tackle or anywhere that sells like DEPS products. So this is a side-by-side comparison with the 250 to the 175. It's a significantly smaller. I throw this a lot when I just want to get bit. The 250 tends to get you bigger bites, but I think, can you catch a giant on this? Absolutely. Will you get bit more on this? Absolutely. Will the 250 get you a bigger bite and possibly a bigger fish? Absolutely. It all depends on your waters, but if I just want to get bit and catch on a swim bait, I'll go throw the 175. So the first thing you have to do when you want to throw something like this is you have to have the right gear. Personally, I throw mine on a Lowdown Customs medium heavy. I'll use 18-pound Sunline FC Sniper paired with I think it's a 6-to-1 gear ratio, the Shimano Conquest 200 DC, and I use that for all my smaller baits, the Citizen 6, the 175, anything like a smaller size swim bait. So side by side, an older 175, they look really, really similar. The main difference is this isn't like, I think it's a Convert, an SK Convert, but the OG is like foamed and this is ABS plastic. The new one still has the knocker. So every glide it'll knock, it's like spring loaded. And the main feature of the newest 2021 model is they added these fins right here on the front and the back. And what those fins do is when you're doing an erratic glide, it'll allow the bait to stay positioned where you want it to be. On a lot of the older models, because they didn't have these like stabilizing fins, when you would burn it or do something like that, it would tend to roll over or blow out. And it's very frustrating when you have a follower and they lose interest because the bait isn't doing what you wanted it to do. The same features as this 175, the 250 has already had, but this is just a smaller version that will allow you to get bit more. And in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, it swims like a 250, just smaller version, not as wide because obviously it's smaller, but it has a very, very similar action. So if you like the 250, this is definitely a bait I think you should be throwing. You have to let the fish tell you what they want. So I'll start off, throw it out there, give it a straight retrieve. Second one, I'll do erratic. I'll do something called the chop. It's like chopping salad. I learned it from Manny Chi when I went on one of his guiding trips when I first started throwing swim baits. If you throw it out there and they're kind of lazy behind it, way over here, not really interested, they're checking it out, that might not be the retrieve for you. If you're throwing out there and whatever retrieve you're using, if they're hot on its tail, that's a good indicator that they're ready to eat, and this is the type of retrieve that you need to use all day. So the first retrieve, and I like it a lot, is I'll just fire it out there and I'll just do a straight retrieve. And the bait is just doing like this. And I'll burn that on ambush points against bluff walls. and then every so often, I learned this off Tactical Bassin, I'll give it a. And with this new 175 is the old one, when you would do that, it would do like this, but then it would blow out. The new one, it'll be swimming, give it a glide, and then it'll stay like that. And then I'll just continue along.
Oh no!
The next retrieve I use, it's in like close quarter, so if you're coming along some rocks but you're close to it, I'll cast up into a pocket or somewhere where I can't make a long cast very accurately to and I need to get closer. I'll cast it into the pocket and I'll do what's Manny Chi calls it chopping salad, or he has a bunch of other things, but this is how I learned. So I'll cast it into the pocket and with my rod and reel, I'll do like this. And that'll just give it the and I'm drawing an action out of the bait, but I'm not bringing the bait out of the strike zone, if that makes sense. With the straight retrieve, you're just coming along points and you're taking that out of the strike zone.
Caught this little guy.
A lot of this is just common sense for you guys. I'm no expert. I've only been fishing swim baits since 2015. But a lot of people ask me about it and I just wanted to share what I do. I think the most important thing is to have the right gear, because if you're throwing it on 30-pound big game mono, it's gonna kill the action of the bait. And I made that mistake when I first got a smaller swim bait, as I was throwing it on gear that was built for the 250 and I'd be like, oh, this bait sucks. It doesn't swim good. Well, I didn't have the correct gear for it. I was casting it with a double extra heavy rod. I couldn't cast it very far. It didn't swim very good. So having the right gear is the most important part. The next thing I think that's important is to know your gear. So this is just a spare reel I have, but like, no, if I give this bait a half turn, what is it gonna do? That's very important to know. Know your gear ratios. People say to fish it on faster gear ratios. I fish mine on a 6-to-1, I believe. And I know with my Shimano Conquest, a half turn is gonna give me 1 glide. And when I make the long retrieves and I'm reeling it slowly, I can feel every thump of the bait. And I think that's very, very important to know what your bait is doing at all times if you want to get bit. Another thing to kind of pay attention to is if you're throwing it along a point and you know like there's going to be a fish off of this rock. Manny taught me this a long time ago and it's helped me catch a lot more fish. Don't cast to that rock. Cast beyond the rock and bring your bait to the ambush point and expect when I get to that rock, I'm gonna get bit. So if I'm doing a straight retrieve coming up to a rock, right when I get to that rock, I'll give it a glide, pause, and then continue my thing, glide. And most of the, not a lot of the times, but most of the times when you catch a swim bait fish, that's when it's gonna happen, is when you expect it on a ambush point, an obvious point that you know bass will be hiding in. And with that, I think you'll have a lot of success with this smaller bait. But I think it's another tool for the right time and place for your body of water. Personally, lately I've been fishing a body of water that has a lot of smaller fish, and I know there was a lot of schooling fish chasing shad against these rock walls. And I seen some shad boiling, and I'll cast right into there with the 250, didn't get bit. Through the 175, got bit. So I figured, oh, I'm onto something. I'm gonna throw a swim bait that's the similar or close to the size of the forage that the bass are eating. And that'll allow me to catch a lot more fish.
Oh shit!
So that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps some of you catch more fish. Please let me know what you think of my videos, what else you guys want to see. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. I know it's corny to say, but it really helps me out. And just let me know what else you guys want to see. What do you want me to make videos on? And other than that, thanks for watching, and as always, stay tuned.